Welcome to SST College of Arts and Commerce. This is SST Edupedia. Myself, Sowmiya Kumar. I'm the Assistant Professor of SST College, BMM Department. Today we are going to talk about digital media, that is for the class T.Y.BMM Advertising and Journalism. And the topic we are going to cover today is SEO Analytics tools. Let's get started. First and foremost thing, we are going to talk about what definition of SEO analytical tools. Very important first point, let us start with this, that is collect own data pertinent to acquiring, engaging organic traffic. Now, very importantly, if you talk about organic traffic, is nothing but all the search engines, we have the traffic signals that comes into the picture. And it's very important that first and foremost thing, we need to collect a proper data, so that we can see to it there is no kind of further trafficking that need to be getting jammed when we go to the search engine optimization or search engine utilization. Second point, measurement, definition, implementation and updates. Now, very important, SEO analytics is nothing but you need to have a measurement tools. We do have a certain measurement tools which we will be covering in our next lecture. That's very important. It's like implementation, that's how we implement it. SEO analytical tools, that is all the search engine tools, we need to analytically analyze it, implement it in a proper manner, and at the same time we need to keep on updating it. Now, very important topic that need to be highlighted over here is updating. Now, if we talk about the websites or the search engines and everything, the digital media, that is the internet, it's a kind of a platform wherein every now and then within a half an hour certain kind of updates it's been happening on the day-to-day basis, on the day-to-day activities that's been having that's been going on around the world. Third important, act on the data in order to create the growth of engaged organic traffic. Now, very important, you need to arrange and keep it in a proper order so that the data it can be arranged in a proper manner, and if the users or the web users, when they want to search for it, they can very well search on a proper platform, and they can get an adequate results. Visualization and reporting, analysis, task planning, execution. Now, it's very important, whatever we try to put it on a website, it's very important thing is we need to plan it accordingly. Planning is the first important step. Then we should talk about the execution. Now, execution is nothing but how you're going to execute your plan. If we talk about in your MBA or the in a business organization, how we come across a topic of like planning, execution and all. So in the same manner, in creating a website also, or creating a search engine, it's very important that you need to plan it accordingly, then execute it, and then you have to report it accordingly on the day-to-day basis. Now, analytical grounds decisions in your own data. Now, basically what helps analytical in a SEO, that is search engine optimization, it's based on your own data. Whatever kind of data we try to put in our websites and everything for a particular website or for your own website, that is what talks about your own data. Second, it work from team politics, client to provide hierarchy, and volatile's opinion. Now, that's again a very important thing, because somewhere down the line, websites, of course, we generally try to search topics from politics to wide range of opinion. Even we try to read about any particular editor, their viewpoints, their opinions, and that's what it gives a broader perspective for the users to understand on a particular issue or a particular topic. Third important, having an effective SEO analyticals process enable us and the marketing team. Now, that's very important. SEO, it always work for the marketing team. Somewhere down the line, because if you're talking about the search engine, you're talking about creating your own website, marketing today, it plays a very vital role over here. Now, moving on to next slide, that is know what's going on. Now, that's very important. As a website owner, you need to understand what's going on with your website, how much search results have been there, how much people are looking for your website, how many people are purchasing your product. That's what it plays a very vital role. Know why it is going on. I mean, somewhere down the line, if your website is not doing well, you may not find too much users over there. Then you need to find it out what's the major reason. why it's not happening. That's also one of the very important tasks as a website owner, of your company or an organization. You need to find it out. Third important, find gaps and opportunities. That's very important, because somewhere down the line you need to keep a tab on it. What exactly is happening, how it's happening. Is there any kind of gap that's been left out, something that's been left as a loose thread. You need to find it out in a very proper manner, and simultaneously trying to find out the opportunities. Now today, in the current market scenario, of course you need to have a lot of competitors that's been going around in the field of digital media, or like internet for that matter. So to make your website work much more better, to look much more attractive, you need to find it out good opportunities simultaneously. Next important point, recommend how we want to act on the inside. Now it's very important that we need to understand from point of view. You need to get into detail or inside what's exactly happening and how to act accordingly, or how to change the situation accordingly. Next important, estimate the expected outcome of the recommended action. Now again, very important, because somewhere down the line you need to come up with some other new kind of solution to it. See, we can't always see there is a problem with my website. They're not getting a good search results or something like that. But if you're having any kind of problem, we need to find it out what exactly, how we can come up with the proper remedy or a solution. Now prepare and enable a strong start. Now very important, first is that client types. Client types, of course, you may tend to come across a lot of different type of clients. Some clients, they may want certain things, some clients they may want a particular thing. So some clients, they may work on a budget aspect. So again, that's very important, that how you analyze and how you understand your client. That is at most important. Second point, 10% of the budget will be used on analytics instead of execution. Now very importantly, most of the organization today who want to create, who has their own websites, for that matter, 10% of the budget, it's always been allocated for the analysis. You need to analysis and everything, and then based on that, you have to do the execution. Now instead you can seek out clients with background that gravitate towards data driven decisions. Now that's again a very important thing, because clients today, they want their own kind of demands, and they have new demands that tend to keep on cropping. So it's very important, for a person who is starting a website, they need to understand what's the current trends, current changes that's been happening in the market. Next, high appreciation for data. Now very important, because whenever you collect a data, whatever kind of information you want to include in your website, that those things, it need to be appreciated, and those things of appreciation is being done by the users. So it's very important for the website owners to post or put in those kind of information which is very much useful for the users, and which can tend to do much more better and better perspective and better profit for the business organizations as well. Advanced marketing knowledge. Now very important, because today marketing scenario is changing a lot, and today we are into the concept of digital India. So if you talk about digital India, we are into getting into everywhere, the digitalization concept. Today, for example, we are into that kind of digital signature also, that's come into the picture, even if you want to sign a single document also. So it's very important, before starting off your website, try to understand what are the current market trends, what users want, what are their tastes, what are their preferences, what are their likes. That's again one of the most important thing. Then capacity and willingness to act on ideas. Now very important, as a website owner, you always need to come up with different ideas, different innovative and new techniques and everything, so that you can make your websites much more interesting and much more happening. Long-term focus. Now very importantly, see, we are running a business, we are running a website, online business, that's for a longer perspective. None of the individual, they may want, that their website should start in the Feb and end by March. None of the individual, they will never want that to happen. So it's very important for them to start the business from the long run perspective, so that you can get more and more users as the day progress. Now, marketing agencies. Teams with an online presence that's decent or better. Now, very important, you need to always have those kind of team who has a presence and knowledge about the online presence. Because even if you talk about your normal traditional media and if you talk about the digital media, that's your internet, there is always a vast difference to it. Now, in newspaper, the kind of presentations and everything, that makes a different value. It adds a different value and different weightage to it. But when you talk about the online presence, of course, it need to be appealing. That's very important. You can't just keep on typing anything, or you can't just post it anything, and you can't expect my viewers or the users, they will be viewing my sites. No, that is not the way how it works. So the online presence also play a very vital role over here. Then monetizing bloggers. Now today is the trend wherein many people, they are into that blogging sites, blogging techniques. They get into a lot of starting of their own blogging sites, as in we have Word Express for that matter, as an example, wherein you can actually create your own blogs, blogging and everything. That's one of the free cost, and one you have to pay. So you have two different versions. So again, very important, you need to monitor it, because what's something new happening. For example, if you're starting your food blog, for an example, then you need to just find it out, what are the other food bloggers, what they are posting on their blog, what makes them stand innovative and stand apart. So all these things, you need to keep on monitoring on the day-to-day basis. Then directors of e-commerce. Now today e-commerce, it is a giant altogether. So we have Amazon, we have Flipkart, we have a number of e-commerce websites, that's being getting quite popular in India, for that matter. And somewhere down the line, even today the e-commerce website, it's been growing in the market. And somewhere down the line, especially during the pandemic situation, of course, e-commerce, the business, it took away quite a good amount of profit altogether. Now, minimum budget. Now, very important. See, if you talk about websites, of course, the kind of investment they do, as per the budgets and everything, it's very much, minimal. They don't need to spend too much of money. They don't need to spend, crores of rupees to start a website and all. They can start, with a proper domain name and everything, and they have to pay particular amount, and they can start their own website also. Now, analytics is for taking market from good to great. Why you always need to analyze it. See, analyzing always play a very important role, because somewhere down the line, it's very important as a business owner that you need to analyze your own website. For example, if I'm running a clothing brand, online clothing for that matter, if I need to find it out, why my search results are not going good, the viewers are not increasing, then I need to analyze it. So that's the reason analyticals always play a very important role, and it always give a positive response for the business owners to shape up their business in a much more better manner. Then we have analysis, planning, and executing. As earlier slides also we spoke about how analysis and planning and execution, all three go hand in hand with each other. Then analytics requires both a high level of skill and a fair amount of time. That's again a very important thing, because analysis, it's not an easy task. It's not going to happen within 1 minute or 1 second. No, it takes its own time. So you need to have a high quality of skill, and at the same time fair amount of time, so that you can analyze it and you can improve on your website. Now, team roles and skills. That is again, if you talk about particular designations that play a very important role, when it comes to SEO analytics, that is project director. So project director, they are, it involves a typical, stereotypical project manager, has their hand in the project. Now, very important, project manager, they are nothing but who deals with a different kind of projects, who go through different kind of project, who makes a lot of changes and then executes in a proper manner, and at the same time review their others' work also, because they always go in a team, so they try to review, that team members' work and all, and plan it accordingly based on data and input from the rest of the teams, and wherein, they can actually take feedback, from the rest of the other team to improve on your, searching websites or search engines for that matter. Then we have analytics developer. That is, they are the one who focus on the marketing measurement, is able to wide variety of tracking and integrations, assist in deciding what tracking will prove actionable. Again, very importantly, understanding the market scenario and how we can track it. what are the kind of changes if we tend to do in a website, then your website, they may perform in a much more better manner. You can improve on a, like, a free mode of traffic and everything, unpaid kind of ads and everything. We can generally try to avoid such kind of things. That's how a website need to be planned. Next, we have junior analyst or SEO, that is skills in data visualization and measurement. Understand SEO helps the team as faster. Now, again, that's a very important thing. Is you have a data visualization, that how they visualize the data. How to put up in a proper that's website, the home page. Then how it need to get into different kind of hyperlinks and all, and how it works accordingly. So that's what the job of junior analyst and SEO is. Then we have content lead. So masterfully incorporates SEO data into each piece of content, guides copywriters, guides creation of visual assets. Now, again, very important, content itself, it's quite understandable kind of a topic. So wherein you talk about a particular content, what kind of content you need to include in your website, because content is always said to be a kingmaker. If your content is good, your website, it can reach through the heights of popularity, and your business can gain a profit. But at the same time, if the content is not good, if not up to the mark, the entire thing can go to toss. So actually, it's very important that you need to have a good content altogether. Then we have link builder, that is facilitating guest content and relationships to boost higher converting content. Now, again, very important is we need to have facilitate a lot of guest content, wherein you can involve many people altogether in sharing their opinion, sharing their content, sharing their thoughts, and at the same time high level of converting content, wherein you can improve on your the content of the quality of the content in a much more better manner. Then Google Search Console shows you what happened before the organic click on the Google. Now, again, it's a kind of a console that actually tells a business organization, I mean, like, who are running their own business, they give you a complete picture of what's happening before clicking onto the Google. Then we have Google Analytics, that is GA for a data hub. That is, Google tools integrate very well with one another, which makes for action data. Again, Google Analytics, that play a very important role, because it also integrates very well with a plethora or other SEO tools. Of course, we will be talking in detail about this, SEO tools in a further, lectures in detail. But as of now, if you talk about it, it plays a very important role altogether in giving a kind of a proper information, to your websites and search engines altogether. Then record an interaction event in GA whenever the visitor spends more than 45 seconds on the website. Yeah, of course, generally, if you talk about it, people, they don't spend too much of time, in searching of information, at least max to max is 45 seconds. But GA normally counts a bounce whenever the user only views one page. But for blogs example, it is common that visitors leave the site after they read on post only. Yeah, because the blogging site is something different. See, that's a kind of a site wherein generally people love to read the blog, they love the content. So that's the reason it takes much more time. It may take more than 45 seconds. So these visitors likely found what they wanted. They tend to remember you, and their likelihood of seeing you on a Google again is high. Now, example, but for blogs, for example, it's common that visitors leave the site after they read the post only. So these, again, that's why very importantly, if we talk about it, that's a point of time wherein visitors, they tend to read, I mean, they take their own time in visiting any one particular site. If they like, for example, if a visitor, they like to read about a particular place in India for that matter, so they may tend to take a lot of time altogether to read the entire post, and then they may tend to leave the page. So again, that depends upon audience or the users liking also. Now we have, of course, the keywords, ad copy, and landing page performance data from search ads can be directly used for growing organic search traffic through optimization of focus keywords, meta text, and content engagement. Now again, very important, three important aspect is keywords. Now it's very important, the keyword also plays a very important role. See, we need to make the keywords in such a manner so that it is easily available for the users, and users can also access to it, and they can understand what exactly they want to search for it. Meta text is nothing but again the kind of text or whatever information you want to type in the search engine for that matter, and getting the information again it's in the hand of the users to use a text in a very proper manner. Then we have a very important content engagement. That is, content again plays a very important role, as we have already discussed in a previous slide, that it's very important that how you manage the content. It should be in a proper chronological order, and then the language, it should be a layman language, not a lot of jargons need to be used when you're writing a content. Then we have paid search results can show up within a few days and ranks for competitive terms that you don't have enough organic search authority for yet. Now again, paid search and everything results, of course, that's a kind of a different concept altogether, wherein of course we will be discussing in detail about the paid results and paid ads altogether. So where a website it's been paid, and then we try to if you want to search anything, again you have to pay particular amount, and then only you can search further. So applying long-term thinking, you can use about these keywords to eventually rank them from organically too. So that's again a very important topic. If you talk about is you have to have a long-term thinking. So whenever you're starting with your website, you always need to see to it it's a long term, and your business always tend to gain a lot of profit. Then the cost of your paid search campaign can be used for evaluating the cost of your content efforts that aim to get the traffic for some topic. Now, with these kind of examples I can give you is related to your PDF. If you want to have any kind of articles, or if you want to read on any kind of a research guide, if you want to get into any kind of textbooks or something like that, you have to have a paid kind of a thing. So you have to pay, and then only you can view, because here the copyright issue is always it comes into the picture. That's the intellectual property right. So that's always it's been in a at the front door altogether. And copy experiments in Google ads are a very quick way to text copy changes before you do to the same organic research. So Google ads also tend to give lot of different ways and techniques, so wherein you can actually get in a good amount of research, a good amount of search, and then you can make it quite interesting also. That's all for today. Thank you.